Hi everybody, it's Miss Divikar. Happy Monday. I hope you're safe. I hope that everything is going well for you. I hope you're washing your hands. I hope you're wearing a mask when you go outside, if you go to the grocery store or anything like that with your family. And I hope things are going well for you. So today, I'm going to make a video to help you on your smart music assignment and to talk about how I might go about working through it. So as you can see on the screen, I've got my smart music up. I'm going to click on my class. And I would always start with something that you already know. So before I practice, I always start with a scale. And what I would usually do is start with the scale of the key that I'm in when I'm playing. So I'm going to go to number 9 because it looks like you have already worked on that. I'm going to select my instrument, which is violin right now. Open. Okay. And it looks like we're in D major, so I might even play like a 5-note D major scale just to get myself in the key. Just to kind of remind myself that we've got high second finger, all those kind of things. So as you can see in this example, it looks like something that you've already done before. In the instructions it said blast from the past, so that's always nice. What you're gonna do is hit record, and if you haven't yet seen my smart music tutorial, you should go look at that. This video is more how to actually work through something that you're working on for your assignment. So the first thing I always do is I go through and play it before I record it so that I can get comfortable working with the software. So I'm going to hit the play button, not the record button first. Oops. And I hit the record. There we go. Play. Alright, so you can see that I just ran into the problem of not being in time, and that is because my volume wasn't turned up. And the little ticker, the cursor, was kind of not where I expected it to be. So I'm going to just try that here one more time by hitting the play button. Oh, it went to the second ending that time. So you get the idea. I would always hit that play button first so that you can go over the piece without feeling the pressure of recording. So one thing that I did not do so well that time was the dynamics. And one thing that I do for dynamics is give them numbers. As you can watch that other video and I go more into it on practice tips. So in this, we've got forte and piano, and we want to make sure we make a difference between them. So what I do is I give my smallest dynamic, which is piano, number 1, and then the next highest, which in this case, there are only 2, so it's forte, is number 2. But in smart music, you can't actually write in your music, and I so wish you could. So what I've been doing is taking, let me just come back to the video here, one moment. I've been taking sticky notes, like these, just cutting them in half, and writing like 1 and 2. So 2 would be my larger dynamic, and what I've been doing is literally just sticking it to my screen, which you all won't be able to see on the other end because I'm screen recording, but I'm going to flip this camera here so you can kind of see. Ooh, too high. See, on the iPad I've written here like 1 or 2 and then 1 with a sticky note. So that's the only solution I've come up with to write in my music so far, and if you've got a better solution, please let me know. I would love a better solution. If you've got more screens, like if you've got an iPad and a laptop, or you've got a printer, you could either like print out the music or take a screenshot or write on it with a stylus. So there are options, but this is the only option I've found if you only have one screen. So if you have another way to do this for only having one screen, please let me know. I would love to know. So after I've written in 2 and 1, for example, to figure out what my dynamics are, I might practice those strokes and practice how that's gonna go, and then I might go ahead and record it. So I'm gonna show you what that's like to record and submit. So you can see there on my first ending, it gave me a red note there, and the reason is because I did not hold my F sharp long enough, right? Because if you've got a dotted half note, that's 1, 2, 3 plus 1 for your quarter note. 1, 2, 3 plus 1 off. 1, 2, 3 plus 1 off. And I didn't do that plus 1 very well. So I made sure that I did it on that second ending. So I'm going to go ahead and press submit. And if there were things that were bothering you, or if you need help with something, so for example, I might write, ooh, my first finger was not quite in position, or something like that, before you submit. So it's going to submit your take. Sometimes it can take a little while. Uploading. And the next thing I'm going to do is work through another one of your smart music examples with you, so we can kind of so you can kind of see how I might work through something that's new. So something that's old, I might run through it once, make sure I know what the dynamics are, and then go ahead and record it. In something that's different or something that's new. Wow, this is taking a while. In something that's different or something that's new, I might do something to learn it a little bit differently. All right, so I'm going to close. I'm going to go back to my home. Again, I've got more classes on here than you do because I'm enrolled in all of the music classes in Manhattan. So I'm just going to go ahead and click back on Nova Chordis. And I'm going to select a capital ship. It's going to ask me to select my part, which is right now violin. I'm going to say OK. Wait a little while it opens my title. There we go. And again, instructions for your assignment, there are none, so I'm just going to say close. We're in the same key, so I'm really glad I practiced that D major scale. And I think that this is new to you. So the one thing that I would do if I've never heard a piece before is I would look through it. I would see, oh, we've got F sharps, we've got C sharps, so that's going to be on violin, high second fingers. And then, I'm going to look through, make sure that I can see some things. I'm noticing that there's only one dynamic, and I'm noticing that there's 2 slurs. I'm noticing that we've got a dotted quarter note, so that's 3/8 notes in there, or 3 of its subdivision. Da, da, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and so I'm just making notes of all those things. And once I've looked through all that, I'm going to go ahead and press play so I can hear what it's supposed to sound like. I might finger along. Cool. So if that happens to be too fast for you in your sight reading, take a look over here at the metronome. Notice how I can make it slower. Oops, there we go. Slower if I want to practice it a little slower, and I would highly recommend you practice it a little slower if you feel like you need to. So, a capital ship. Ship. I don't know what capital is referring to, but it's called a capital ship. And when I was listening to that recording, it kind of made it sound like the ocean and waves. And to me, what that means is I'm going to use long bows, long bows when I play this, especially in those longer notes. So again, I'm going to try to play it with the play button. Long bows. So I think I got all the notes and rhythms, and for some of you, it's gonna take longer to get those notes and rhythms, and that's okay. That is so okay. You might need to take it slower, you might need to work measure by measure, and all of those techniques are fine. Use the techniques that you've used in class to make sure that you're very, very confident on the music. What I want to teach you about a little bit more is when you have those notes and rhythms down, and you've got the feel of the music and things like that, I would make sure that you've got a story to tell with your music. And for me, I think that this story is about a ship captain. I almost am curious if the title is supposed to be like a ship captain instead of a capital ship. But if anyone knows what that means, let me know, because I don't. But I always like to make up stories with my music, and to me this is like swaying on the ocean. And for me, that means using those long bows to convey a mood or to describe what is happening. And I see those slurs at the end. Dia, dia, da, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that kind of makes me think of waves. Tia, tia, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this piece, I kind of want to make that picture in my head as I'm playing. So when I record this time, I'm going to be thinking about that boat and about that ocean. Okay, so Smart Music marked all of those notes for me in green and said that I got all of them. One thing though that I noticed is that I've got on my screen, you can see D, 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 F sharp, and an F sharp is about up here, and I played it about here, but it's up here. But Smart Music still marked it as green. And the reason that I'm showing you this is because Smart Music is not perfect. My intonation was not perfect in that go. And so when we submit this, even if it gives you 100% or something like that, sometimes it's because it's hearing the background, sometimes it's because you were close, and so it's giving you that point for that note. I just want you to know that me and Mr. Johnson will be actually looking at these videos and giving you real feedback, so don't worry too much about the green and the red. So I'm going to go ahead and submit and go on to the next piece. Again, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Another thing that I might have worked on this piece, if I were you and if I were, going through that play button, use the play button until you're very ready to record, like always use that play button. One thing that I might have done was practice those long bows on one note so that I could really feel how those long bows feel when I use long, long, long bows. All right, so I'm going to go to home. Again, back to your class, and then look at the essential elements quiz. So even if it says quiz, it's all about just performing the best you can. Took less time to upload that one than it did the last one, didn't it? All right. Any tempo can be selected. Oh, it looks like I picked viola. That's not what I meant to do. Violin, please. There we go. So on the instructions, it says I can pick any tempo I want. So let's press the play button and hear how fast it is at 94. All right. So I'm listening to that and I'm realizing that maybe it's a little too fast for me. So I'm going to go over to this metronome and see how the metronome does not turn red when I change the tempo. I might go down to like 80. See what that tempo sounds like. And that tempo seems a lot more doable to me. So I'm looking at here the second full measure, the one with eighth notes in it on my screen, and that looks like a lot of notes at once. So one thing that I might do is just pizzicato and make sure I have all those notes. So those first 4 notes, up, so from that first note, up, and then down, 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 and then it just goes up the scale. So what I might do is go through and pizzicato every single one of those 8th note runs if those are difficult for me. Then I'm going to look at the bowing, and I might actually just take my bow without my instrument and go through that bowing. So da 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 da. So that's a slur, right? Da 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 da, and make sure that my bow is lining up. One of the things that I really don't like about smart music, so I'm actually video recording on my phone so you can see what I'm doing. We cannot see what you did. If you play the wrong bowings, unless there's a slur and we can hear, we might not always be able to tell that you've played the wrong bowings. And I feel like some people could think, oh, that means I don't have to follow the bowings. But what's more important is when you get to go back to school next year, you don't want to get into bad habits of playing the wrong bowings. So I would make a very conscious effort, if I were you, to make sure that the bowings that are marked are the bowings that I'm playing. So then I'm going to go ahead and look at the dynamics. In this piece, we've got mezzo forte at the beginning. So about... Then we've got a crescendo. And the only dynamics I see in this piece are mezzo forte and forte. So mezzo forte, right? I'm going to think, how am I going to make that mezzo forte? So probably closer to the fingerboard, maybe closer to the tip of the bow, maybe less weight. Whereas as I get to that forte and I'm doing that crescendo into forte, maybe I'm going to use more weight closer to the bridge, maybe closer to the frog. So I'm going to be thinking about all those things. And as always, I like to have a story to these pieces. Bum, 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 bum. And when I press play to listen, so I hear strings, but I actually also hear a trumpet. And usually when things... There we go. Usually when things have trumpet in them, it means that they're regal. It means that it's about kings and queens and royalty. And so I kind of want to think about being really up and proud when I'm playing this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and record it for you and show you how I might play this piece. So record. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things here. You can see some red notes, some orange or yellow looking notes, depending on what your screen looks like, and some green notes. For the most part, I kind of played things in the right place at the right time. Now, I did miss a couple of notes, and some of these notes that I missed, or that it shows that I missed, I didn't actually miss. For some reason, oops, it wasn't able to pick up my A string. You can see a lot of the A's I played that were not 4th finger A's, it's counting as wrong. So again, what I might do is go back and listen to it and see if I agree with the green notes and the red notes. Excuse me. So to listen to it, you're going to press that blue triangle with the record in front of it. Okay, so after listening to that, I'm noticing that some of the notes that it picked up as red were not actually wrong. I'm also noticing, or I noticed when I was playing, that my bowing was wrong at some point towards the end of the piece, the end of the first time through it, and it didn't actually count it as wrong. Let me draw your attention to one more thing. At the second ending, there's a retardando, but there's no conductor, and there's no one to tell you how much to retardando, how much to get slower, how much slower we should get. And that's kind of unfortunate because it says that I was early on that second to last note. And even though I might have been slowing down, it might not have been at the rate that Smart Music wanted me to slow down. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, I did have problems in this take, that this was not a perfect take by any means. But what Smart Music marked as red didn't really seem to me like the actual problems in my playing. So just keep that in mind. Smart Music isn't perfect. You just try your best. We'll listen to it and give you some feedback. My phone died on the end of that video, but I just wanted to say that if you need any help uploading to Smart Music or understanding how Smart Music works, or if you need some practice tips, I've already got videos on that up on Schoology, so you should go check those out. And if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, just want to say hi, shoot me an email, or I think you can message me through Schoology, so feel free to do that. All right, stay safe, everybody. Bye.